Tonight, did some really good work in tonight's session. Just want to go over those points that we discussed. On the right hand side, first of all, was really we talked about your posture position. The video on the top is one that we took early on in the session. And you can see there that your spine angle, or you standing in your posture position quite tall in that position. The one at the bottom is what we took a little bit later on in the session, just after we'd altered that posture. And you can see there you're bending over a little bit more, got a little bit more spine angle there in that setup. And also your hands, the position you wear, and your hands are a little bit further away from your body, creating a little bit more space, allowing you to swing that club a lot more freely. So we just had a quick look at the video at the top. Sort of things we were highlighting during the posture and during the golf swing was the amount of movement up and down you've got during that golf swing. So the new posture was allowing you to rotate your body better and trying to stay in the same position or the same posture position throughout the golf swing. So the one up above just take you up into the top of that backswing. You can just see that you've lifted yourself up ever so slightly. And as we're coming back down into the golf ball, we was really looking about how much you actually dip down and the amount of height that you lose just to get back to that golf ball. And you can see there as you're coming into impact there is quite a big movement down to reducing your height to try and get back down to that golf ball. Also quite a big movement forwards as well, going towards the golf ball with your upper body there. So just a few issues there with your balance position, but mainly the movement up and down to try and get you into that golf ball we was looking at there. So the position here at the bottom, we got you to bend over a little bit more, create a bit more spine angle. Also to get you in a much better posture position, allow you to rotate your body around that fixed axis or around your spine without having as much movement up and down. So as we take you through that golf swing, once again there, just a little bit of lifting with your body there just during the backswing. Again, not as much as it was on previous swings. But then as we're coming into that golf ball, you can see now that the amount of movement into the golf ball, the amount of loss of height into that golf ball is much more consistent. So it's much less than previous positions. So that is helping you to create a much more consistent golf swing, a much better impact position, and also creating a much better strike on that golf ball. Still got a little bit of movement forwards towards that golf ball, which is just pushing you a little bit closer. So just a little bit of work finding that correct balance point there on the balls of your feet. You said that you were feeling, when you're bending over a little bit more, you're feeling a little bit sort of top heavy. The weight was creeping onto your toes a little bit, causing you to fall forwards. But it's just working on that, trying to find that balance position on the balls of your feet, so you're able to maintain that posture all the way through the golf swing. The other point that we discussed, particularly with the one where this at the top where your posture was a little bit taller, you can see there that position as you're coming into that golf ball, get yourself into a really good position on the way down. Club is nicely on the inside there, but then as you move so far closer to that golf ball, or so far forwards close to that golf ball, your club now just creeps gradually on the outside of that golf ball there, and you can see as your hands are working quite quickly to the left, pulling that golf club back on the inside. So you're now going from a good position where the club is behind you, where you're just getting the club outside and then pulling the club quite quickly onto the left hand side there. With that shot, you just got a bit too much rotation. Club came a little bit low off the heel of the club, and with the rotation, just smothered it off to the left-hand side. But you can see the impact position. You've got no space there between your hands and your arms as you've pulled your hands in across to the left to get back to that golf ball, just to create or to allow your body and your hands to come back to that golf ball to compensate for the movement forwards that you've had during that downswing. Looking again down at the bottom picture, we've just put the basket there just on the inside of your golf swing. So any movement that you've got now, pulling your hands inwards and working that club from an outside to wind past, you're going to come across and you're going to hit that basket. So what we asked you to do was to swing the club from the inside and allow the club to work around the basket. So that meant you have to keep your hands out more in front of you and maintain a better posture position through the golf swing. So, as we suggested, because of your better posture during the second or the later part of the lesson, he was able to swing the club down into impact. Again, the club's nicely from the inside. Club's working now from the inside path rather than from a position which was outside working inwards. So your club is now coming from an inside path there and then around that basket. So as it's coming in now, you can see now the big difference there between the gap between your hands and your body, allowing that club now to be continued down your target line with good rotation is going to allow that ball to come back to your target. But again, just working on that balance position just to reduce that movement forwards that you've got, and keep swinging the club down that same path, allowing your hands to pass your body in a much more neutral position, allowing that the consistent direction of shots and the consistent striking of the shots there, which would be much easier to control than in previous swings. So the other area that we discussed a little bit later on, again, with a little bit of movement that you've got during the golf swing. So we've discussed the movements you've got up and down. Also, there's a few movements here. The video on the left, looking at the amount of movement you've got to the right hand side during that backswing. Again, there you can see that you've just drifted off that centre line ever so slightly. And what we need to do from that position now is we need to move yourself, your hips and your shoulders and your head all back to the left hand side, allowing you to strike down into that golf ball. Now what we do find is that your upper body, your hips tend to move quite well down into the golf swing or down into impact, and then as we're just approaching the impact area there, you can see that your hips have gone nicely. The upper part of your chest is just creeping to the left of that line, but your head in particular is just a little bit behind the golf ball and a little bit outside that circle. So from the top of that backswing, we're trying to get you to stay a little bit more centred on the way back, and then from the top of that backswing just have a little bit more movement to that left hand side, which is allowing your upper body in particular to get slightly in front of the golf ball, allowing you to strike down into the shot, creating a more of a downward strike and a more consistent strike on that golf ball. The positions you're getting yourself into, you're just lagging behind the ball a little bit and then trying to lift it up in the air. So you're catching the ball a little bit thin, or sometimes catching the ground first. So that little bit of extra movement to the left hand side will allow you to get that consistent downward strike on that golf ball. So one of the drills that we gave you to work with, especially to keep yourself more centred and working on that body rotation, also finding a balance point so you're not falling forwards once you've hit that golf ball, is to set your set up, put your head against the wall and make a few golf swings with your head fixed on the wall. Because it's fixed on a point, it can't move up, down, left and right, and also you're not able to topple forwards. So just working on that posture position, making a few golf swings and just feeling what it should be like, and then taking that out onto the golf course. Also, we said to you, do a bit of work with the basket there on the inside of your golf swing, so it's making sure that your hands are coming, passing your body from the right angle and not pulling inwards to the left, dragging that club across the line. Also, when you take the basket away, imagine that basket's still there, so you're still recreating those same swings. So, good luck with that. If you've got any problems, just give me a call. I'll be up at the golf club if you're ever up and you want to have a chat. But on the other hand, good luck with it, and I'll see you again soon.